Hello, hello. Hey, Mike Francis is here. What's up, Mike? It's early. It's early and I'm a little tired. So if you can hear me, if you can see me, I don't drink coffee, Mike, so I would have already had one. How is the stream? How is the video? How is the audio? First and most important. My software says it's great. YouTube is telling me something else. As long as it's looking okay for you guys, sounding okay, things are synced up, I'll move along here. We'll move along. Ooh, we got PA speakers. I actually have new monitors. I'm excited coming in today. I keep checking my FedEx app. It doesn't say out for delivery yet. I don't think it's updated, but new monitors coming in. Not replacing the monitors I have now, keeping them. Just going to have two sets of monitors. These AV40s are small. I'm not sure what. Let me see something. These are like, looks like 4-inch monitors, if they even make 4-inch. But they did the job for my CD. But I have Yamaha HS8s coming in today. Mackie thumbscrew. I actually ordered a Mackie, what do they call it? The big knob, Mackie big knob. It's just a little box that I can plug both sets of monitors in, out to the sound card, and then I can switch between the two, and it has one knob for the volume on either one. And I'm not sure, I don't know if it just switched between the two, or I don't remember. I ordered it like last week. It's back ordered. You switch between the two, or you can have a blend of both. I don't remember. I think I might have went with the cheaper option. It was like 70 bucks. So in order to switch, because my sound card, my Scarlett 18i6 only has 2 outputs for monitors. So I can run that into the Mackie and then control both sets. Alright, so today what I wanted to do this morning, while I have some time, I know it's early, I'm kind of getting known for early morning streams. I got my guitar, and let me switch over, I just got this in, the Line 6 HX effects. It might look a little dark. Let's see if this is not frozen. There's my hand. Might look a little dark. The color might be weird, only because I had to adjust all the settings, and in order to see the screens. So with that normal lighting, you couldn't see these strips here are all blurred out. Drew Murphy, hey, what's up? All this thing, neighbor's gonna wonder something. Yeah, and this is a new house, so they'll get used to it. But the cool thing about my house is we're kind of up on a hill. I got a long driveway coming up, so there are not really any houses right directly around me. So it's a big yard too. So I mean, they'll be able to see the truck coming up from certain houses, but kind of secluded a little bit here. All right, so like I was saying, HX Effects came in. I've only made one patch so far. I got this to run with my Marshall back there, the JCM 2000 DSL 100, for bigger shows. My band plays mostly, we play bigger stages, so I like to use a regular tube amp because it's the only place that I can actually turn up. And you all know how good it feels when you're playing through a 100-watt tube amp, 100-watt tube amp, and you can really turn it up to get it hot and get the tubes cooking and get that tone. So that's what that's for. I still have the Helix. It's actually on my other board on the floor here. I'm waiting for a Temple Board Duo 17 to come in. That's going to have the HX Effects on it. This right here, you can't really see it, is my Roxron Banshee talk box. I'm going to try to fit my Line 6 G70 wireless onto the board too. I don't know if it's going to fit. I wanted the smallest board possible so when I do fly dates, I can get it on the plane with me. And also, see, I hate to move this because it's kind of set up right. I'm going to tip this up a little. But there, yeah, so there's the G70. I have the Strymon Ojai. Eric Broadbent told me it's pronounced Ojai, so I have to say that, Ojai. Power source that's going to go hopefully under the board. I don't know how this is all going to work out. I measured everything, but you know when you measure stuff and then you get things in, it's kind of, you know, you got to kind of do it again and put everything in its place. But if it can go under the board, it's going to go under the board. Now the cool thing about that is this is all hooked up to, I don't know if you can see that, but this is a piece of the pedal snake that I've been talking about. So there's going to be one cable. Oops, I just dropped everything. There's going to be one cable going from my amp to the board with everything powered back. Everything's going to be powered back at the amp. No, we don't need any power strips, nothing to plug in up front other than the one cable that's going to go under. It's going to go run through under the board. And it provides power to, with the special adapters, it provides power to the HX effects using a current doubler that Voodoo Lab makes. So the Ojai actually gives you, you know, there's 5 inputs for 9 volt. It's like a pedal power, but also has 2 of them you can switch between 9, 18, and I believe it's 24 volt. But it was suggested that I just get the current doubler, plug into 2, so you got 9 and 9 going to 18, and that powers the HX effects, which you see. Oops, I have to fix this camera again. Which you see right here. So that is right now being powered by the Strymon. I'm not using the wall wart, you know, adapter that they send with you, to send to you in the box. And then the Banshee will. The wall wart has to be used for the Banshee, but that can be plugged in. I'm going to have a main power strip, a Furman power strip, back at the amp. So the amp, the Strymon, and the Banshee wall wart all going into that power strip. But then with adapters, it runs through the pedal snake and plugs in on the board. So before, I always had to ask for a power up front, or I needed another power strip to plug this and that in, or I had the Banshee power, the wall wart's like this big, so I had to like duct tape it and really tape it up underneath my board. No more doing that with this board anyway. When I use the Helix for smaller gigs, when I'm using in-ears or we have like a small stage and I'm running direct, then I'm gonna have to take it off the new small board and put it back on the big board and have to tape it all up again. But with the shows that I have coming up this spring and summer, mostly going to be using the amp. How's this stream so far? Everything good as far as the quality of the video? YouTube's weird. It tells me that the video output's too low, but when I look at it, it looks good. Thank you, Mike. And I don't know. I'm just going to stop paying attention to YouTube unless it tells me, unless it's in the red. Right now it's in the orange, and it should be in the green, but in my software that I use, oops, sorry about that. My software that I use to stream this tells me that it's perfect, so I'm going to go by that. All right, so first things first. Now, have any of you guys, there's only a few people on because I know it's early, have any of you guys watched my last few videos where one of them was unboxing the integral close miking system, and then I made another video of how to install it, which it's actually in this 412 behind me now. Let me know if you haven't watched it. I'll explain it really quickly what it is. I'll do that anyway, just in case somebody down the line comes and watches this. So the integral close miking system is something that is mounted inside your cabinet right up against your speaker, and there's a super cardioid mic that's right on the cone, but it's off axis, off center. So it's not right in the middle of the cone. We usually don't like the sound of that, but it's off axis. So today I have that going into my interface. Now I didn't spend any time. They say with that it's very generous in the, I believe it's the mids and mid highs. So they say it's mainly meant for a PA for live use, not so much recording or doing something like this. But I'm gonna get my guitar audio to you guys using that today, and I didn't EQ anything. This is just that without any EQ on it, so it might sound harsh, it might sound a little, you know, a little brittle, or I did a quick test recording, a video recording of it. It sounded okay, good enough to let you hear the effects, the patch that I made in the HX effects, and maybe we'll make a new patch while we're at it, or go through some of the. I don't really want to go through some of the other ones because they're not set up for what I need, but so that's one thing. The integral close miking system is in that cabinet. It's in that far upper speaker. That's the sound you're going to be hearing. That's going into the interface and out to you at YouTube here. Also, I mentioned the pedal snake and I mentioned the Strymon. So that I got like 4 things going on right now that I'm kind of highlighting in this video, with the main thing being the HX effects. All right, so I'm going to show you. Let's switch over right now. All right, so if you're not familiar with the HX effects, which many of you are, I got to see it at NAMM. It was incredible at NAMM. It's incredible now. I'm loving it, and it took me a matter of, I don't know, maybe a half hour to an hour to really figure out how to get around on it, because you can use the HX editor right now, but all you can do is see the list of presets, and you can load IRs with it. You can't do any editing on it yet. That's coming in the spring. So I had to actually sit here and learn how to do it on the screens itself. And with the Helix, there's no big, giant, beautiful screen up here. It's just these little scribble strips, if you want to call it that. So everything is done on there. If you guys have any questions, you want me to show you something, just write it in the chat and I'll be happy to go over it. So this is the standard view where you have, if you're familiar with the Helix, you have the bank up and down, and on here you got 4 presets or patches. You can hit, let me get this wire out of the way here. If you hit the mode button, it goes into what you can assign the separate stomp boxes to each of the 6 pedals. You can keep these 2 here as bank up and down if you want to, and just have 4, but I like having all 6. And in this preset here, I'm not actually using this one. Oops, and if you touch it, see, it's very touch responsive. If you touch it, that's the one you're working on. See how it changes? And I've already kind of named a couple of these things. Obviously, there's nothing called a tube screamer in there, but it's a Scream 808. But I changed the color. You can do all the same stuff that you do on the Helix, but this is just remember, there's no amps or anything in this. This is just effects in an IR loader. So that's it. Now, if you want to use snapshots, which is obviously also in the Helix, so you're in the regular view, you're in preset view. Snapshot, you just press the 2 bank buttons down, and there's your snapshot. So I have a clean, dirty, heavy, and lead. So if you go into each one, and then you press that mode button, see you see it changes. This preset has the chorus on, doesn't have the tube screamer. So if I go into dirty, the chorus is off. Nothing is really on, except I do have, let me show you. If you hit, there's that little button above the home button up there. Hit that. Gives you more options here. So the signal flow, this is where you can see, this is where you do a lot of your editing. So you can see, and by using the big knob, I'm going to try to do this without getting in the way. The big knob here, it's not as big as the Helix knob, but it's the biggest knob on here. If you click that over, see it changing. If you look down here, this is your signal flow. So in the first one, it'll change up here too. I have the flanger, then I have a phaser. Oops. Then I have the screamer. Then I have the effects loop, because I'm going 4 cable method with this amp. So you have to have that in there. So anything before the effects loop block is like putting pedals in front of your amp, and obviously anything after is all your time-based effects and stuff like that going through your loop. So then next I always use a gain block with a plus 3.5 dB for my leads, my solos, because I don't rely on sound guys anymore. I give myself a volume boost. And then then you have your split. And you can move, same thing with the Helix, you can move these things easily all along this path using the knobs up top. I'm not really going to get into that because there's tons of videos on that. So then there's the chorus. Simple delay. That's mainly going to be used for just the lead. Then I have a noise gate, because if I shut the noise gate off, you can't really hear it picking up through my vocal mic, but it can get a little noisy. Obviously using the loop, you get that general white noise hiss that you always get with tube amps, high gain amps anyway. So that stays on, and I don't have that assigned obviously to one of the stomp box switches because it just stays on all the time. And the same thing goes for the reverb. I'm actually using, I believe this is the Legacy, which is the M9 M13 series reverb. I kind of like it, so I'm using the plate, and that stays on all the time, so that's not assigned. Now, just to get back to the main screen, you just hit the home button, and we're in pedal view again. You hit the mode button again, and you're back to snapshots. And if you want to get out of snapshots, you just hit the two bank buttons, and you're in preset. But I'm going to stay in snapshot mode. So the clean. Now, my clean is not really, my clean's not really a clean. On the DSL, I'm on the green clean crunch channel. I believe, yes, I have the crunch switch engaged, and I have the gain is at about 6. And depending on venue, I'll mess around with that. I'll either turn it up if I feel I'm not getting enough gain, or I'll turn it down. If I'm able to really turn this amp up, I'll turn that gain down, because the power tubes will do all the work for me. But if I can't put it up as loud as I want, then I'll boost that up. But I leave that crunch engaged, and that's my clean tone. I just use and I'm using my Mutt Strat here. I use the volume knob. So this is gonna pick up through the vocal mic right now. It's not the integral. Can you hear that? That's the room mic. That's not actually the close-up mic that's inside the cabinet. Mike is asking, is this the same setup you use on stage, the DSL? Yep, this is the DSL has been my main amp, other than having a Friedman or a 5153. The DSL I always come back to. It's just a workhorse. Like, these things get trashed and beat up, and they just work. They just keep working, and most backline companies that I've dealt with supply this. So I kind of luck out on that. So yeah, this is the clean. So that's the in the room sound. I'm gonna switch over to the integral. I don't know how to pronounce that. Integral. I know it depends on how you're using it. So let me switch the mics. Let me see if this will work. So that was the integral inside the cabinet. I can't hear what it sounds like. You guys can. Again, I didn't spend any time on EQing that sound. It's just directly from the cabinet into what you guys are hearing. And really, when you're using that in a live situation, you set your PA board, desk, you set everything flat, the EQs, and then just adjust it from there while you're at the gig. So that should be done at the gig. I could have spent time. I just didn't feel like it this morning. So I don't know what it sounds like. Hopefully it sounds okay, good enough for you to get an idea of what the guitar, the tone sounds like. Leave some comments. We have a few people here. Everybody must be early birds like me. But so yeah, so that's the clean. Again, this is the vocal mic. So I'm going to switch back to the integral, whatever you want to call it. So what is thoughts on what it sounds like as far as that close miking system sounds? Like I said, direct into my interface with no EQ, nothing added, just plugging in without doing anything to the sound, which you really should, because nothing's gonna sound good or perfect as soon as you plug it in. Another person jumped on. Say hello if you're here. I know Mike's doing all the talking here, or chatting, I should say. Mike's always good for that. Am I using a tremolo effect? Not on this preset, Mike. Just the, let me switch back. Just the 70s chorus and the plate reverb. I mean, it's possible that you're hearing something just because, like I said, that close miking is not, it's not EQ'd. So it also might be, signal might be too high. Maybe it's shaking a little bit. Shaking, well, it shouldn't be shaking. It's mounted in there. But it could be YouTube, just with the crappy YouTube compression that you're hearing too. Makes it, sometimes when I watch guys doing live streams, not so much on the videos that are pre-recorded, but live streams, the guitars sometimes sound like they have like a flange or a phaser effect on it. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, Mike's saying it could be, I think it's YouTube. YouTube adds a lot of compression onto their videos just to keep the file sizes down, so you lose a lot of the actual, what you're supposed to be hearing. But that's the clean tone. So let's go over to the dirty. Now again, the dirty is basically the same as the clean tone with just the plate reverb, nothing else on. And this time I'm not using, I'm not going to be turning my volume knob up and down on the guitar. So I'm getting any kind of gain or distortion out of the amp. It's decently loud in this room. I really don't have the tubes cooking on this amp because it's early, and like I said, I'm in a new house. I don't want to scare the neighbors already. But I did that enough yesterday when I was messing around with the HX effects. All right, so let me switch over to the close miking. Yeah, Mike's saying the live feed makes it sound flat. Yeah, it just takes out too much, but I mean, it's all we have to deal with right now, so it's good enough. All right, I'm going to shut my vocal mic off, and then I'm going to turn on the close miking, and I'm going to play the dirty preset, or actually the dirty snapshot. It's more like an, I always refer to it as an AC/DC type tone. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move the camera down so you can see the guitar a little bit. I don't know how much lower I can put this. Oh, sorry about that. Gotta get used to turning that off. You like all the dirty cables and everything in the back? Alright, that should be good enough. Alright, let me shut that mic off. How does that dirty channel sound, or dirty, I keep saying channel, but it is a dirty channel. Crunch channel, but snapshot, using the close miking, it is no way for me to tell. I wanted you to be able to hear the reverb a little, and so now what I'll do is I'll turn on, we've already kind of heard the chorus. I'm going to turn on, let's turn on the phaser in this. I did it again. Sorry, guys. I got to get used to this. So that is the phaser. Hopefully it's coming through. Could be, like I said, YouTube puts phase, some kind of phase on everything. Let's do the gray flanger. Look, see, now that's what happens when you just hold on to the top of it. Gray flanger. And remember to shut off. So that's the gray flanger. And I mean, it's pretty basic. I'm not a big effects guy, as I've said in the past, at all. I just need a little bit. So let's move along. Let's move along to the what I call heavy preset. Now, the heavy preset is the same exact setup on the amp, but you're gonna have the tube screamer on. And eventually, I also have to add in, where is it? I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to fit this under the board too. This is the Voodoo Lab control switcher, because the Helix and also the HX Effects, as far as channel switching goes, does not play nice with the DSL 100 or JCM 2000. So any of you guys out there wondering that, you're going to need some kind of switcher like this, whether it be the RGM stuff or this. This was pretty cheap. So basically what you do is you go out of the 1/4-inch jack, you know, that change channels on your amp. Instead of going into the Helix or the HX Effects external amp switch, you go into one of these channels, and then you MIDI out of this. MIDI out, there it is. MIDI out of this into Helix or HX Effects or Helix LT, and that will switch. You have to kind of program this. That will switch the channels on it, and you won't have noise. If you try to do it without this and go direct in, you are going to get a very unpleasant, really loud hum, and it's not like a ground loop hum. Believe me, I went back and forth with line 6 on this, and we determined that amp is one of those amps that just doesn't like that jack on these units for whatever reason. So I had to get that. Not a big deal. I wish it would work, you know, with no issues, but nothing's perfect. All right, so let's get back to this. So this is the heavy snapshot. I'm gonna remember to shut my mic off. Let's see, and then I'll stop. You know, I'll play it normally, and then I'll stop and I'll go and I'll put the phaser on, and I'll put on the you know, the flanger and all that stuff. And I'm really just trying to play and stop and play and stop, so you can hear the reverb, you can hear the effects. This is what I wanted to do today, so you can hear the effects through a regular guitar cabinet for this HX Effects. All right. And that's my heavy snapshot on the HX effects. I really can't wait to listen back to this because I have no idea what this guitar is sounding like coming out to you guys. Mike seems to be enjoying it, which is good. Nobody else is saying anything, so they're not really leaving, so it can't be too bad. But yeah, it's let me shut that the mic off. Here we go. All right, so last this is the I started messing around with this yesterday. We had a snow day here. The kids were home. I lost my internet, but I didn't lose power, so I was able to just mess around for a little bit with the HX effects. It just came in 2 days ago, so yesterday was the first day I got to mess around with it. I'm going to show you the tuner too, because I actually really like the tuner on this thing. It seems different from the Helix. It seems, I don't want to say more accurate. Hey, Quentin. He wants me to. He just got here. He has a great speaker system on his laptop. All right, I'm definitely gonna play. I'm on to. I'll go back again quickly with the other. I'm just letting Quentin show what we're going over here. This is my first HX effects preset, patch, whatever you want to, with the snapshot. So we just did the heavy. Now we're going to be going over to the lead, and in the lead. In the lead now, I have the Tube Screamer on, and that button, it says lead, but if you remember when we went through the blocks, it's just a gain block at 3.5 dB, a plus 3.5 dB, just to give me a volume boost. And I also have a simple delay in there, just to, I always have a delay when I play my leads. All right, Mike is saying it might make a difference with my speaker setups. If it was a mono signal from the computer, it might be different. I'll check the video on the left. Yeah, I appreciate that, Mike. Yeah, I'm outputting to stereo, but again, YouTube likes to do their own thing and compress the hell out of everything and make things. I mean, it gives you a stereo spread, but it's not. Sometimes it's not the stereo spread that I'm hearing. You know, when I'm actually in the room playing. But all right, so this is the lead tone. I don't know what I can play. I'll just play some single note stuff. Again, I'm going to stop so you can hear the delay, hear the reverb. Again, nothing else has changed. The reverb is just the legacy plate reverb, and the simple delay is a mono, because this is a mono rig. It's not stereo, even though it's going, YouTube is stereo. So let me switch the mics here. I'm going to adjust a few things because of the 3.5 dB boost, and in my tap tempo I had to reset it earlier, so it's kind of not where I want it. But at least you got to hear the delay. Was the signal too hot? Because it looked like it was on my end. Let's try this again. I lowered that channel a little bit. Any better? Like I said, I had to turn it down a little bit. Shut that mic off. And one of these days, I'm going to learn how to play that again correctly. I'm missing some notes in there, but trying to think of just some single note stuff that Quentin likes to sound great. Now, Quentin, you came in late. This is actually the amp behind me. The DSL 100 with the 412 with the integral close miking system installed right up against the speaker, and that's going into what you're hearing. So that's actually that little mic that's inside that cabinet. Not EQ, just directly in. I didn't change anything. So, and like I said, I want to listen to this later so I can hear what it sounds like, because I can't hear what it sounds like at the moment I'm doing it, because it's loud. This is nothing is direct. It's direct. The mic is direct into my interface, but you're hearing this amp with the HX effects and 4-cable method. We got more people jumping on. Everybody's waking up today. All right, I'm going to go back to, let's see. I'm going to go back to the heavy tone, and I want to play that Mr. Big riff that I stopped at after I just thought the signal was a little too hot. So after we do all that, you know, all that funny stuff, let me see. I love that. Love playing that. That I can kind of play right. The intro needs work, but so that's my main rhythm tone. I cannot wait to get to. I'm looking at you, John Colossi. I know you're gonna watch this. John's my sound guy, and he's so generous to let me go to his house, and he's got a big garage, and he sets his whole PA system up in there from time to time, and I bring my stuff over, and we kind of put everything through the PA, turn it up, and we dial things in before a gig, so we don't have to do it at a gig. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully in the next week or two, I'll get over it. It's, what is it, March 9th, I guess, March 9th, 2018. I gotta say that because someone might watch this 5 years from now. And I'm hoping to get over his house soon, because the next gig I have is a big show, but I'm just bringing the head. They got a whole cabinets and everything, and it's a giant PA system, so I'm not going to be using the integral. I keep saying that, integral. They're going to mic up the cabinets that they have there, but I'm going to be running this board. Now I wanted to show you the tuner, because the tuner is actually, like I said, I really like it. Let me switch back. One thing, if any of you guys out there have the HX effects, now I have the tuner obviously on to mute the guitar when I'm tuning, but I'm noticing some kind of when I shut it off to go back to play, I've been hearing some kind of like pop going back. I thought it was because maybe I had a a chord ringing or something, or a note was ringing and then I hit it and I didn't really silence the guitar. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it now. Now, obviously, to get to the tuner, the same thing as the Helix. Just hold that button down, and there it is. This guitar is probably out. So what I really like about this, see, it's sharp right now. You need to line up right in the middle, and it has all these little semitone, I guess they're like cents, up top in this middle block. So this needs to come down. Let's see how it's moving. And I might need to unlock this guitar, and then it shows you the note up here, and then this will light up when you're pretty close. So I'm pretty close there. Good enough. I know, it's such riveting video, me tuning. But let me get off this screen. But that's how the tuner works on this. I actually like this better than the Helix tuner. I'm just weird. I like how this one works and reacts, and the display on it. Yes, I'm still tuning. You can see me looking at it. Any other questions, guys? Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Now, let me see if this makes a noise. Yeah, did you hear that? Obviously you did. I'm gonna try that again. Yeah, I gotta find out. I gotta ask the guys at line 6 why that does that. I'm not sure why. I'm gonna try it again. And the only way, let me switch. The only way to get out of this tuner setting is either here or here. So I'm gonna do it from here first. Actually, let me get back to the tuner. Yeah, see? Let me get back in there, and I'll try this button. Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask. And it's not like I had any chords or I have my guitar volume all the way off. You don't want that happening at a gig. Yeah, Mike, my Helix never did that. Never does that. This is the first time I'm really noticing it with this unit. You know what? Let me try. I'm gonna take the crunch off on the amp. You can still hear it, even with less gain. So let me take the gain down and see if it does it. I'm going to turn the volume on the amp up and take the gain down. Still does it. Doesn't matter. Put things back where they were. Yeah, I'm going to have to ask them why that's doing that. Maybe I'll send them this video so they can. It's. So that's one thing we discovered today, was that it makes a popping noise. You know what? I got my phone here. I'm going to go on the Helix Facebook group. And I'm gonna ask right now, while we're live, because I might forget. I'm gonna say I have witnesses. HX, if this is what I'm typing. So now when you see this on the forum, you're gonna be, hey, I was there when he typed that. HX effects tuner question. Does anyone else get a loud pop when disengaging the tuner? It doesn't matter if I'm playing a high gain tone or clean. Does that make sense? I can even turn the amp volume down and it still happens. So I just posted that. Could be a bug. And you know how Line 6 is, if they discover a bug, they'll have a fix for it very, very soon. Alright, so let's go back to, I'll let Quentin hear the clean snapshot. Let me turn this mic. So there you go, Quentin. If Quentin's still here, that's my clean. It just has a 70s chorus on it and the Legacy plate reverb. And I'll give you my dirty channel, which is mostly just the amp doing all the work, and I have the Legacy plate reverb on it. So let's try that. There you go. There's the dirty channel, and I think you were already here for the heavy, not dirty channel, dirty snapshot. But I think that's it. Hopefully, I'm gonna get some kind of answer. I'm gonna try this tuner thing again. Not as loud that time. I wonder. I'm gonna let the tuner stay on. I wonder if it's the longer that you leave the tuner on, the louder the pop is. See, now it's louder. Let's do it quick. Tuner. There you go. Yeah, look, what's that? If I do this tuner really, really quick, if I turn it on and off quick, the pop's not as loud. All right, listen. That pop wasn't too bad. Now, if I leave this tuner on, you know, for the amount of time that you're going to be, tuning, so it's still on right now. So say you're a fast tuner. Now let's shut it off. Yeah, that's strange. I'm gonna put that in the question I had on the Facebook group. That's weird. I haven't looked in the manual. Maybe there could be a setting that, like I said, I don't read manuals. Maybe there's a setting. Oh, they're gonna know about it. Don't worry. And hopefully, my buddy Frank is watching this, and he can get started on this before anybody else. I can even send it over to them. They're awesome. They're just fast like that. Yeah, Mike, it does. It sounds like you're dropping a cable. Exactly. And it's not it's not, here's a test. I'm going to unplug. You might hear a pop. All right. I'm going to unplug. I unplugged. I'm not using a wireless today. I'm from the guitar into the input of the HX effects. So, yeah, Quentin, like kicking your reverb tank. Yeah. All right, so I unplugged the end of this cable from the HX effects. You shouldn't have any kind of pop. So I'm going to turn the tuner back on. And I can hear the hiss from the amp go off. There it is. Do it quick. On, off. It's not as loud. Now I'll turn it on. Let it sit for a second. Here we go. And it's louder. Hey, I'm going to shut all mics off right now so I don't blow your ears out when I plug this back in. All right. Should be plugged in. So maybe that is a bug. I'm going to actually check the Facebook group right now to see if anybody's replied. Mike, you replied. Mike says witness. Yes, Mike was here witnessing this. Another guy liked it. Who was that? Mark Long. If you're watching, Mark, hello. He liked it, so I'm not sure if he is having that same issue. But maybe I will read the manual. Quentin, you just sent me a friend request. I'm not sure if I should. Just kidding. I just confirmed you. Yeah, he just typed it on there too. Cool. I guess we're friends now. All right, so that's basically it. That's all I have this morning. Unless you guys have any other requests, questions, you want to hear something else. Do you want me to, I was going to say, you want me to make a preset, but maybe we'll save that for another time because it's already been an hour. I'll make you tag Frank. Awesome. I always forget to do that. I'm stupid that way. Let me see. Yeah, I just got the alert. Thanks, Mike. And Frank will get to the bottom of this. Quentin, I've seen it all. So usually, I usually only go on Facebook for the forum, the Line 6 group, and for band stuff or a project that I'm doing. I don't really, like, if I'm going down the timeline or the feed, I'm just like scrolling. I hardly read anything because there's just too much nonsense being posted on there. More people jumping on. You missed the whole thing. But one thing, if any of you new guys that hopped on here, do you have an HX Effects? If you could type in the chat, because we've discovered something with the tuner. I'm going to do it again. The tuner's on. I'm going to let it sit like you're actually tuning. So if I'm tuning here, say I'm tuning. You're on stage tuning. And then you go to get out of this. It doesn't matter if you get out of it with this or with this. You got that noise issue. Oops, sorry, I bumped the camera. So this is documented for Line 6, and I know they'll be on top of it. They always are. And again, yeah, I'm definitely going to ask Eric about it and see maybe he can try it and see if it does it with. Maybe it could be just the amp. You know how I said earlier the channel switching doesn't like these JCM 2000s. Maybe the tuner coming in and out doesn't like it either. But like I said, the Helix doesn't do that for me. It just seems to be this. I don't know. That's strange. Very strange. Mark Long replied. He gets a pop on his helix, which is mostly noticeable in patches where there's a big ambient reverb that accentuates the pop. He's since moved to a Polytune Mini on an effects send. See, I don't want to do that. The tuner is good enough for me to use on this. So and like I said, this is going on a very small board with very little real estate, and I might not be able to put my wireless on it the way it's looking right now. Yeah, Mike, that's true. I have a few of those clip-on tuners, so I bring them to gigs. Maybe I'll just hook those on one of the guitars and not have to deal with that. I just like using the tuner. The main thing, if I'm using my wireless, the G70, I can actually, if I want to mute everything, I can just hit that and mute it. But if I don't have that, it was always nice. On the Helix, I would either use the volume pedal, turn it all down, or I would hit the tuner. That would mute it. But if this is going to pop like this, I've got to come up with some other way. And Quentin says they need to fix that. They do, and they will. But again, it could be just this amp. I don't have another amp. I got rid of everything. I don't have another amp that I could try this with. So, let's hope that. I'm hoping it's just a bug. I'm gonna reply now to Mark Long saying that I never got it with my Helix. Just noticed it on the HX effects. Do I still have the Firehawk? Yes, I do. It's actually in the closet right now. I'm gonna put this camera back up a little. It's in the closet, and I actually have it for sale. I'm just selling it locally because I don't use it. I'm not going to use it. And my band, obviously doing a Bon Jovi tribute, my singer had a double neck ovation, and it's seen its last days for the most part. So I'm trying to sell the Firehawk to fund another double neck fund. So if you know anybody that's in the Rhode Island area that is looking for a Line 6 Firehawk, let them know. Send them my way. I want to sell it and get the other guitar that we need for the show. I'm not going to use it. If I run direct now, I usually have my in-ears, so I just don't need it on stage, and I don't play it here at home because I have studio monitors, and then I got the amp behind me that I'd rather use. So yeah, that's strange. That is strange. I'm doing it again. I'm going to leave that tuner on now for at least a couple of minutes. I want to see how loud that thing is going to get. It's weird that even with the guitar not plugged in, that it pops. Mike, North Carolina is quite far. Yeah, I mean, I suppose I could ship it, but the thing weighs a ton, and I just get nervous that UPS or FedEx or whoever is gonna, you know what they do. I just get nervous that they're gonna screw it up, and then I have to, the guy buying it doesn't get what he wants, and then I have to refund, and then it just becomes a mess. All right, so the tuner's been on for a little bit, so I'm gonna shut it off. That's pretty loud. That is pretty loud and pretty strange. I'm just checking Facebook again. Nothing new to report on that post. So this live stream here was not meant to show this popping issue with the tuner. We just came across it. Actually, I came across it yesterday, and I didn't think twice about it. But now that we're actually testing it, I'm gonna turn this tuner on again while I'm talking here and we're discussing this. I'm gonna leave it on even longer. It seems like the longer the tuner is on, the louder the pop gets when you shut the tuner off. Yeah, the tuner output is muted. It says mute. Offset. What is the offsets on the tuner? Probably makes sense if I look that up. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but HX effects tuner offset. I'm probably going to screw with the stream here because I'm using the internet now. Yeah, it looks like my stream is slowing down because I'm using the internet. Bear with me. Tuner, there it is, tuner. Tuner output determines the active output while the tuner screen is active. And we know that. Oh, the offset is just for string offsets. There's nothing in there about the tuner making a popping noise. Hopefully the stream comes back up better. All right, so this tuner has been on for a little while here, so be prepared for a loud pop. So here we go. Wow. That is not good. Yeah, I'm gonna send this video, and I have a bad output going right now. So let's end this video now, guys, because it looks like my stream is falling apart here as far as the output goes. So I thank you for coming on. I'll do another one of these at some point, and let's hope this tuner situation gets rectified. So until next time, please subscribe. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed to my channel, I do all kinds of stuff like this. Check out the Rocker Dad podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play, all over the place. Just subscribe. Look up the Rocker Dad podcast. I think you'll like it. So here we go. Goodbye.